welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering all of your guys' questions. Just please note one little disclaimer before we get into today's video. If I didn't answer one of your questions, it was just because I didn't feel it was right for me to answer or just didn't feel comfortable answering it. So please refrain from asking questions again because they'll just be not answered. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first person's questions I'm going to be answering are Gold Hope Equestrians. Her first question is mares or geldings. I don't really have a strong preference, but I say generally I would probably prefer a gelding, but if they have the same attitude, yeah, I don't really have a strong preference either way. Next, they ask favorite horse or pony I've ever ridden. I would have to say the most fun horse I've ever ridden was Charles, and I've vlogged with him up. So if you haven't seen that video, please go check that out. I will leave it in the description down below and in the iCard. Where do I see myself in 3 years in terms of riding? So I don't have a goal to do like Grand Prix or anything, but I would say I have a goal to have a horse or be close to owning my own horse at that time. I mean, obviously I hope it's sooner than that, but you never know. And to show in more prestigious shows. That's really not my main goal, but I just think it would be fun. Those are all of her questions. Next person, I am so sorry if I butcher your name. I'm so bad with names, so please forgive me. I truly apologize. Natalie Shubarvo, I'm really sorry. Oh my god, wow, that happened. Sorry again if that's not how you pronounce your name. My bad. She asks, do I have any pets? And the answer to that is no, I do not own any pets whatsoever, which is honestly really sad. How long have I been riding? I've been riding for 7 years. Best show ever. So at this point in time, I'm not very much of a competitive show person, if that makes any sense. I just really don't have the opportunity to do many shows. So I've only shown it twice, and I would have to say the first time I showed it was my favorite time. Best ride ever? Honestly, it's just too hard to pick. I've had too many amazing rides. Next, I'm answering Cinnamon Spice Eventers questions. Her first question is, why did I start YouTube? That's actually a really good question. So I've always loved making videos, actually. That's mainly why I started YouTube. Also, when I was younger, I always used to make videos about my briars and stuff like that, so I think it kind of developed from there. So her next question is, how many animals do I have? I already answered that. 0, unfortunately. How long have I been riding? Again, 7 years. Next person's questions I'll be answering are Caesar days. Her first question is, worst fall? I've had 2 or 3 pretty bad falls injury-wise. And those falls were one of the falls I had on camera. Woo! That time or the second time I fell, which was a pretty bad fall. Smallest / biggest horse I've ever ridden. The smallest horse I've ever ridden is Charles, like I mentioned earlier. He's an itty bitty little pony. The biggest horse I've ever ridden, I would say, is probably Vinny. Other than maybe some trails where I've ridden some bigger horses. If I didn't do hunters, what discipline would I want to do? I think if I'd stick with English, I would go the eventing route. And if I had to change to Western, I would go the Western pleasure route. Horse has influenced me the most. I would say either Caddy, just because he's been such a big part of my riding so far, and he's taught me so much about refusing and more difficult horses who won't just go push and go, or some of the harder ponies I've ridden, like Ariel and Clover. And finally, from PS Cowgirl. PS Cowgirl asks who my favorite horse is, and that's a really hard decision. I love so many horses so dearly. I have to say either Caddy, because he's just so near and dear to my heart. He's taught me so much. I really like Ariel's gaits and Clover's personality. I want to try Western if I haven't already, so I have tried Western only on trail rides. I've never had like a lesson or anything like that. I've walked, trot, cantered on trails Western, but I haven't really experienced like an in-ring lesson type Western ride. So yeah, I would definitely like to try Western soon. Any Western riders, comment down below if you think I should try Western and maybe I can try it out. What's my hardest lesson, like the horse I was on? My hardest lesson, that's a really difficult question. I've had some really tough lessons with Stony. That horse will just stop, plant his feet in the ground and not move. So that was definitely a hard lesson. I've also had some hard falls and lessons like that. So yeah, that's a really hard decision, but I've definitely experienced some very pushy, difficult ponies. But those are all the questions I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. and for 100 subscribers. I love and appreciate all of you so much. So that is it for today's video, and I will see you next week.